Good morning, everybody. How's the Remax family doing today? We are at week 6, and one of the things that came to me today was just the relationships that are being established in this group have been phenomenal. And so one of the things I want to challenge you with today, for those that are a tight group, to stick with your squads even after the program. We've got 2 weeks left of the course, and keep those relationships going. I'm hearing a lot of income being generated. I'm hearing a lot of good friendships that are being established, and that's what it's all about. So don't forget that this course is coming to an end in 2 weeks' time, but the relationships will last forever. So let's get to work this morning. We'll talk to you guys soon. All right, guys. Friendly reminder, the workbook is in the Facebook group today. So if you haven't downloaded that yet, go to the group now and do that. We're going to have a lot of visual conversations that are going to be required to look at your workbooks. So go ahead and download that PDF right away if you can. Make sure you are in a stable location, cameras on, ready to work today. We're going to be diving into some objection handling strategies, and it's going to be super important that you guys have the attention to it. So look forward to getting to work today. We've got an awesome guest speaker with us, so let's get started. Okay, what is going on? So today we've got obviously the objection handling that we discussed here just shortly. One of the things that I really want to emphasize to you guys is that objections can be handled in advance. And if we do our job properly with presentations, which we're going to go over today with Doug, we can make these objections not even come to fruition if we do a good job presenting. So obviously, we're going to get objections at every stage of our lives, from personal to business. So today we're going to dive into some of the most frequent objections that we get in this business, and we're going to give you guys the tools to be able to do that. Why do objections happen in the first place? We're going to find that out. We're going to also dive into the power of data-driven objection handling. Key objections we'll cover today: the timing analysis, is now the right time to buy or sell? The trends analysis, should I wait for a better market? The commission cutting objection, can you lower your commission? The buy and sell analysis, should I buy first or sell first? Most people want to buy first, but they don't know what that means. And then number 8, we're going to overcome objections with the right mindset moving forward. All right, so why do objections happen? Buyers and sellers are unsure, skeptical, or not fully informed. They need reassurance, data, and confidence to move forward. And the mastering objections builds trust and positions you as the expert. The power of data-driven objection handling. Use facts, not feelings. Guide the conversation rather than reacting emotionally. And overcome concerns with logic, market knowledge, and most importantly, confidence. They can pick up on that. All right, so we're going to jump into the 5 big ones today. As I mentioned before, Doug is going to be helping us through this. For those that have heard Doug speak in the previous course, that's fantastic. He's also going to help, bring some clarity to some of these objections. We went through them pretty quickly before, and so the timing analysis is now the right time to buy and sell. The trends analysis, the market is shifting. Should I wait? Obviously, the commission cutting. Can you lower your commission rates? Those are the things that we're hearing most of the time in buy and sell analysis. When the market's a bit slower, should they sell first? Of course they should. And then the comparative shopping analysis. Why should they choose this home over another? So Doug, let's get down to business. Looks like you're ready to go. Everything's symmetrical in the background, so that's cool. So the timing analysis is something that we hear a lot of the time. common concern. I want to be able to get this role play kind of started here so you guys can hear the dialogue. So I'm going to be obviously the client coming up with an objection, and Doug's going to bring the response. So common concern. I think I'll wait to see what happens with the market.
Well,
what do you think, Doug?
That is an option for you. That's an option for you, Alex, that's for sure. But when it comes time to be able to react to the market, nobody has a crystal ball. So we don't know when things are going to go up and when things are going to go down. Wouldn't you agree?
Fair.
And therefore, I got to ask you this. What would it do to your plans if, let's say as an example, 3 months or 6 months from now, that the value of your property was down by 10%? Would you still be able to move forward?
No, I don't think so.
So then therefore, let's not wait and see what's going to happen as far as down goes, is, fear of loss. Now I'm going to teach you something in the middle here, gang. Write this down, get your pen out. Fear of loss is a greater motivator than the opportunity to gain. And that's what I just demonstrated to Alex, is that what happens if the market goes down? And of course, they'll throw back at you and they'll say, what happens if the market goes up? Well, then it goes up. So does your house go up, and so does the one you're buying go up. And therefore, you still might be able to do it then. But you got a 50-50 chance, right? We don't know. Is the market going up? Is the market going down? We don't know that. But when we start to talk with the trends analysis, we're going to be able to go over that. But how we're going to handle as far as the timing goes in this timing analysis that we need to look at, you guys, is first of all, inside your listing presentations, that those of you that bought them have already got all of these hot buttons inside. If you scroll across the top of your listing presentations, there's a segment that says hot buttons. And when you click on that, all of the things that we're dealing with today are automatically there. So you don't have to go searching or hunting. You know that, bang, here it is. I got it. I can now use it. So let's go through the timing analysis to kind of give you an overview how to handle this when somebody says, I have lots of time. And in your mind, everybody quickly, thumbs up if somebody said that to you. I have lots of time, or no rush, or something along that line. If they haven't said that to you, that means you haven't asked enough questions, or you haven't been on enough appointments, because that's guaranteed to come up. It's just a matter of time. Okay? So now, when we look at the timing analysis, we'll run through it very quickly. Hopefully you've downloaded it, you have it in front of you. The way this tool works so well is that people will say to you, well, I just want to wait 30 days, or well, I want to wait 60 days, or something along that line. Our responsibility, first of all the time when we're setting people up to be able to buy a house, is find out when is it that you're actually wanting to move. Is it 60 days, 90 days, 120 days? When is that date? And then from that, we're going to work it backwards. So here we are, of course, the middle of February. So let's say hypothetically somebody wants to move by, let's say, the middle of May. So in May, what happens is they say they want to wait 30 days. Okay, cool. So if you did wait 30 days, then on your timing analysis, as you see it, now you're not going to take and try to write this in your presentation. You'll have your talking pad or your notepad beside you. Always remember this. Never try to tell somebody something when you can actually present it to them. So if you're talking to them and writing to them, you're hitting both types of people simultaneously. So therefore, on your talking pad, you're going to follow along as it is now in your manual, and you're going to say, okay, 30 days. I want to wait 30 days. So write 30 days down. Cool. Now, that's going to take us to the middle of February. So you write down 30 days, and then you write middle of March. March 15th, hypothetically, or March 10th, because today is the 10th. So then the next step, of course, we're looking at marketing time. Well, I don't know what the average days on market is in your market, but let's say just for fun, that for discussion purposes today, we'll make it easy, that it's 60 days. So now we're going to go from the 10th of March to the 10th of April to the 10th of May for marketing time. So average days on market. So now we're up to the 10th of May. And now we're looking at the fact the next one is adjusted marketing time. Adjusted marketing time is that the true fact is that whatever your average days on market is in your computer, that's not correct, because it doesn't take into account for listing cancellations, and expireds. So if you put those both in there, the number or the that you have as average days on market would be way higher. So we give ourselves a rule of thumb, just in time for half of whatever we think that it says in the computer. So the numbers we used today was 30 days or 60 days. So now we give ourselves another 30 days. So then under adjusted marketing time, now we write down, of course, we're back up to now May 10th. So now we're at June 10th. Okay, so then again, 30 days, June 10th. The next one that you're going to go to is processing time. Now, what that means is your subject to removal time. So how long is it going to take you to remove your conditions? Well, let's just say for discussion purposes, it's 2 weeks that you give yourself for conditions. So now you write down again, 14 days. Now we're going to go from the, where are we? Come on, everybody. June, right? So now we're into June. So now we're out to about 3/4 of the way through June. So we're June 24th, and we haven't even got the possession date time yet. So in average on possession date, you're looking at, the 45 to 60 days, somewhere in that range. So before we know it, we're at the end of August, and they wanted to move in the middle of May. So that's what you say to the customer. Well, you want to wait, that's no problem. But here's the thing. The way it is right now, the way we set ourselves up today, is we're going to be moving somewhere around the end of August. How does that fit into your plans? They're, of course, going to say, no, I need to move in May. And you're going to say, well, we probably should have been doing this 30 days or 60 days ago and not wait another 30 days. What do you think we should do? Now, notice, gang, I want you to be listening very closely to the words I used at the end there. The words were, what do you meaning the client, think we should do? We, so you're a team, always working as a team. So what do you think we should do? Not, remember, this is the opposite. A rookie salesperson would say this. Therefore, we must get this home on the market right now, or we must do something right now. That is the wrong way to deliver it, and the wrong way, because now you look like a pushy salesperson. And we don't want to be pushy. We want to lead them to the water. We don't want to force them there. Okay. So that's really a quick overview of the timing analysis. We'll go to the next.
If you guys have questions, we're gonna jump into the questions at the end. We do have Q&A, so let's just keep moving to the next objection. I hope everybody's taking notes, because this is so important and very, very valuable to get the good prices that we want for our listings with the best terms. Okay, next one. All right, the trends analysis. Should I wait for a better market? The common concern, prices are going down / up. Maybe I should wait.
So true.
So very similar to timing analysis.
Very similar, yeah, but it's just another tool, right? Think of it this way, you guys. Does a carpenter have many tools in their toolbox? Does a really good chef have a lot of different tools in their kitchen that they use to be able to accomplish their great meal? Yes, which is exactly the same for us here as in the real estate business. We have to have many different tools, because the power of selling is this. Everything that you have that you use as a tool will work some of the time, but they don't always work all of the time. So therefore, you have to have another tool that will demonstrate that point, that eventually makes them go, wow, that kind of makes sense. Let's do that. Okay. So the trends analysis is another way to basically back up your timing analysis and financial analysis, which we're not going to do today. But we'd be happy to another time. If somebody wants to connect with us, we can do that. So now, with the trends analysis, as you see it in your manual today, there are many different lines that are there today for you to be able to fill in. And I realize some of you are going like, wow, where are we going to get all this data? How am I going to get all this information to be able to fill this all in? Well, the really cool thing is yes, it takes a little bit of time to fill it out. What? The first time. If you fill it out the first time, then after that, to keep it up to date is really easy. So therefore, we need to just put the energy and effort in to get it done. So now, in the trends analysis, the idea behind it is to be able to do this. We're looking at it from 3 different categories. Number one, what was it like, the market, or what's going on that trend from a year ago, 6 months ago, and today? And the idea behind the trends analysis is this. is if we know how to project a trend, then we know where things are going to go. So as an example, we use average days on market just because it's an easy one to use. So if we said that a year ago, the average day on market was 60 days, and then we say 6 months later, it was 45 days. And today it's 30 days. What's happening to the trend? The average days on market is going down. So therefore, the time that it takes to sell a house is going faster. And ultimately, what's that going to do to the price? It's going to drive the price up. So, but it's a direct correlation, you guys. This is such a powerful tool once you understand how to use it and use it regularly. Because what you need to be able to remember is this, is if history repeats itself, and it normally does, and we follow the trend that is happening, we can start to predict what's going to happen down the road. So therefore, this is such a powerful tool. Now, you don't necessarily need to go through when somebody says, well, what's going to happen in the market? You don't have to go through all 10 or 12 or 14 items that are on the trends analysis. You might only use 1 or 2 or 3 of them to back up your point as you're moving forward today. So another one on the trends analysis, as an example, is somebody says, well, Sally up the street said that she'd be a far better realtor to work with. And so you're going to be able to know, because you have been smart enough in your phone call ahead of time to ask who's your competition. So now you know that it's Sally up the street. Well, that's cool. So it's very easy for you to look up some stats as far as the number of deals that the other person's done and so on and so on. But next to that, what you want to do is you want to be able to say this. As an example, your personal list to sales ratio. What that means is this. As an example, you can figure that out on your board stats, and you can figure it out for yourself. Then this is how you deliver it. Somebody says to you, well, why should we list with you? Well, have you ever heard of the real estate trends analysis? No, what's that? It's an overview of the trends that take place in the market today that can help us decide if this is the right time or the wrong time to take the next step. So when we look at, have you heard of that? No. Okay. So when we look at it today, let's move forward to be able to look at my stats compared to the board stats compared to, Sally up the road stats. So here's the thing. The real estate board's average list to sales ratio means this. The amount of time when you're put your home on the market, right? The time that it takes to sell that is number one. And then the second thing is, when we're looking at it, is we're thinking about what can we do to help to increase or lower or get our stats better. So of course, we need to be able to sell it faster. So the list to sales ratio is the amount of time that it takes you to sell your house compared to somebody else, and the price, to what you sell your house at compared to everybody else. Now, this all stems back to the list price that you get your properties at. If you list your price correctly with properties therein, it will sell faster and for a more accurate number. So as an example, if you had 100% of your listings sell for 100% of your list price, you would have a 100% list to sales ratio. Well, nobody's going to do that on a consistent basis. So therefore, your number is going to be slightly down. But what the fact is that if you really watch a great real estate agent, their list to sales ratio is going to be very close, like 96, 97, 98%. And why is that? Because that means that they actually know the market. They actually know what's going on. And if you check the stat for your board, and I promise you it will, if you're doing well as a real estate agent, as a listing agent, your number is a lot tighter than the one that's average for the board. And therefore, you know that you can say, even if you don't step on Sally's toes, you can say, well, according to the average in the board, and I know that Sally probably fits into that group, is that my list to sales ratio is considerably higher. So if you want to get your home sold for more money in less time, I would be a great option for you for that. And then there's many more items on there as far as the trends analysis. But the idea is to be able to have facts, not rumors and gossip, to be able to drive home the point when given that objection to move forward.
Awesome. All right. let you take a swish of water before we get to the next one, Doug. You're on fire here. That's great. Obviously, we hear of commission cutting is something that people are always, there's different reasons for it. Some people are saying that they don't have enough equity in their house, they can't pay a full commission. Maybe they're just trying to grind for the sake of grinding for commission. There's lots of different reasons why people want us to adjust our fee. And so one of the things that we got to do is we got to make sure we explain our value proposition and potentially go through a few points here that are going to help save you from having to deal with the problem. Because if you don't address it up front, or you don't do a good enough time explaining your value and why you are what you are charging for, it'll come back in the negotiation on an offer. So we got to deal with this now. If it's a concern now, we got to deal with it right now. And so one of the common concerns is another agent said they'll do it for less, right? Discount brokers, part-time agents, they're offering deals out there, Doug. So I'm looking for a deal. So how are you going to handle that?
You and everybody else, Alex, is looking for a deal. So, and for anybody who actually knows Alex, that's quite normal, because Alex likes to get a deal on everything he does, which is good.
Absolutely.
I respect that, because so do I. So, but here's the thing, gang. Alex touched on it already, but we're gonna do a little recap to the last presentation that we did, and we talked about in the power of your listing presentation. And I'm gonna ask you, just for fun, if anybody remembers. Now, of course, we don't get to see your notes, but put it in the chat really quickly so you can compare to all the other people that were paying attention that day. There's 3 areas that we have to drive home our value in to be able to get people to decide that they don't need to cut the commission, because you are going to be able to bring to the table the money that we're talking about to net to their to what they're looking for. And the 3 areas were, I'll give them to you now, and so quickly get them in there so you don't cheat, is your company, your marketing plan, and you personally. If you know that you know how to deliver those 3 areas, and you've done the homework that we talked about that was going to be homework for you, you now have a long list of all the different reasons why somebody should list their house with you as far as those 3 areas go. Now, if you can sell your value on every one of those areas, and in your actual listing presentation as you go all the way through, the commission's not going to be a problem. But at the end of the day, when you get to the end of your presentation and then they start barking about commission, I'll promise you the reason that happened is you didn't do step 1 right, meaning sell your value and present your value. Now, can somebody still say that you did a great job there and they still say they want a lesser commission? Of course they can. So now we'll go back to Alex. Even we'll play the game that we went through everything and Alex still said he wants a better deal. Say, well, I can understand. So just for fun, Alex, what is the amount of money that you think would be fair? Let's say it's 6% for discussion purposes. Is kind of normal or average in the area. What is that you thought would be reasonable, Alex?
Yeah, with the new NAR settlement, I think I'm happy paying 4%.
I see. Okay, so first of all, gang, when Alex asks for a reduced commission, your first answer every single time is this. Watch my face. No. Any other questions? And you move on. That will kill it 50% of the time right then and there, right? But again, lots of times people say, no, we still want to fight you a little bit. And we say, okay, well, that's fine. So now we have to go to the next step. So Alex said 4%. So 4%, keep in mind then, making people understand the division of the commission and how it's going to handle, and understanding the NAR settlement and so on, is that if you got 4% for you and 2% would be supposedly go to the other agent, you'd be really happy if you kept that 4%. So my answer to Alex would be, so you're comfortable to pay me 4%, is that right?
Yeah, I think that's what I was told by another agent, that they would do that.
Okay, fantastic. But now you do realize that there will be a fee that's going to be payable to the other agent that might come into negotiation down the line. And that could be anywhere from 3%, additional 3%, or possibly less. Are you going to be comfortable to pay that?
I think it's included the 4%.
Oh, really? Well, then that's not going to work, Alex, because here's how it goes. For me personally, you get an option. You can hire somebody that can definitely do it for less. or you can hire somebody that knows what they're doing. I think we've already shown you the value, did we not?
Yeah.
So therefore, are you willing to hire somebody? Fear of loss, gang. Are you willing to hire somebody that won't be able to represent you to the full power that you're wanting and you need in the sale of your home? Are you?
No, I was told that they're great though.
Okay, well, being told they're great and they actually are could be two major different things. So now let's ask you this, Alex, because you want to have it a little bit less, and I respect that. Everybody wants a deal. I happen to be in Cancun right now, and every single minute of the day, they're negotiating about something here. So you're the same, and I don't mind. So let's do this. On your talking pad or your notepad, gang, you're going to do this. So Alex, let's look at it this way. So draw stick houses, 2 lines down and a roof. 3 of those, 2 lines down and a roof, 2 lines down and a roof. Draw 3 on your talking pad or your notepad in front of you. In each one of them, put 2 of them, put 6 and 6, and put the third one as a 4. And now we're going to give you a tool that works very well for commission cutting. So, Alex, what we're going to ask you to do, just for a minute, if you don't mind, we're going to change seats just for an example. And instead of me being the salesperson, you're going to be the salesperson. And let's see it this way, as if you only could sell 1 house a year, and that's all you could sell. And now remember, gang, keep up to date on your stats. 71% of real estate agents in NAR last year only sold 0 houses. So if you're that agent that fits in that 71% and you have a chance to sell 1 house and 1 house only, and it's the house you're going to sell, which house would you avoid selling, Alex? The 6, or the 4?
Yeah, obviously I would be interested in the 6.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Now, here's the thing. You decided now that maybe you wouldn't want to look at your house, or you would not want to sell your own house. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're looking for one buyer, so maybe some people would be interested in showing it because it's a great house.
I respect that. The house and the property is very important. But at the end of the day, when you were in a real estate situation, as we just described, what's your motivating factor? Is it the house or is it the money?
It's the money.
Right. Couldn't agree more. Now, notice, gang, how I delivered that and why I delivered that particular close. You deliver that particular close the wrong way, and you say, look, if there's a 6 and a 6 and a 4, I am personally going to not sell the 4. Now you look like a greedy pig. So the key behind that is, and I hope you are listening closely, is how many times I said the word you, Y-O-U, like 6 or 7 times. If you, Alex, were going to do this and you were making a choice, what would you do? Because remember, it's not me making the choice, it's Alex making the choice. Because if I make the choice, no good. Alex makes the choice. He makes the choice on himself. Such a powerful way to close that, right? Now, as far as the opposite, he said, well, Sally up the street or Bill up the street said that he'd do it for less. Okay, no problem. I can understand that. But here's the thing. If Sally or Bill up the street are willing to do it for less, and therefore they can't control their own incomes, how do you think they're going to be able to control the value of your home, Alex?
It's a good point.
Okay. So now, for those of you that don't know, there's about 25 commission cutting tools that you need to learn. Are you going to learn them all in one day? No. Are you going to need to learn them all? Yes. Why? Because every time that you don't know one, it's going to cost you a small fortune. So therefore, what should you do? Spend time every day getting one more commission cutting objection tool and sharpen your axe and get ready to be able to use it so that you can go into 3 or 4 or 5. I have like 20 of them off the top of my head if I wanted to deliver them to you. Needless to say, we don't have enough time today to continue to go through all of them as we go through. And some more might come up during our question and answer period. But we need to be able to be sharp, gang, with our commission cutting tools. And we need to be able to figure out how to use it. Another one that's already in your listing presentation tool that is great in this particular case is the pro-con analysis. The pro-con analysis is a fantastic 1-2 punch on will somebody be willing to wants to cut their commission. So you can show them the pros of them cutting their commission and doing it for less or getting it for less, and the cons to them actually doing it for less and what ends up happening as a negative to them if that's what they do. So again, utilize the power of your listing presentation because it's already there.
So obviously, Doug, you're nailing the points, but the key here is watching Doug's body language. He's not overreacting. He's not taking it personally. He's answering the questions confidently. His tone is not it's not showing any emotion. Like he's very much not concerned by the conversation. I think that's the key, you know, not overreacting or not like thinking that they're greedy for asking the question, because really it's good for them that they ask the question. The answer is no, and we'll move on to the next. And it's like Doug said, half the time that'll be enough, or maybe you have to go in a little bit more deeper, you know. And we talked about like the bottom piece right there. Which scenario would you be more comfortable with? Like the last slide, it referred to the doctors, lawyers, and dentists. Like, who do you want like working on your business? Do you want someone that knows what they're doing, that has the experience, or are you going to go with a cheaper option that might cost you tens of thousands of dollars on your net value of the sale? You know, and I think that based on Doug's confidence, I was just giving him the gears to try to keep that thing going a little bit, but I would have probably caved a lot earlier if it was real life, you know, based on just how he presents himself. And you know, oftentimes when we show emotion or we get rattled like with objections, it shows that we don't have experience in handling them, and people can pick up on that. You know, if they ask the question and you handle it with calm, confident response, they know that they're dealing with someone that has the experience, and they may not actually know that they're doing that, but that's what they'll pick up on through that. So good job, Doug, on that one. Next one, we're going to go through the buy-sell analysis. Should I buy or sell first? I don't want to be stuck without a home. I mean, that one comes up all the time, like more than commission. It's the biggest thing. Like, do I sell before I buy? Like, what's the process? I think you can tie in a few of the other hot buttons that we went through already, but let's dive into this one.
As Alex said, the first thing I want you guys to always remember is that we talked about it again last week, and we're going to do it again. And thank you, Alex, for bringing that up. Is that write it down again, because the more we write this down, the more we realize how important this is, the stronger we personally will get with our presenting. Remember, presentation is one half of it, presenting is the second half of it, and that's what Alex is touching on. So now let's look at our numbers. 55% is body language. That is what we're doing with this. Hands moving, neck, nodding, smiling. All of that is the money, 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 if you actually realize how powerful that is. The next part is tone, voice inflection, pause, and so on. So these are 38% of your presentation. The last is the words, which is 7%. Kind of scary, actually, that you think, oh my goodness, I got to practice all this and I got to know all this. But really, what you got to practice, you got to really get good at is looking at yourself in the mirror and see, are you just like monotone or are you actually engaged in the presentation? Remember, also, as we said earlier, your notepad, your talking pad, that is engaging the client, you guys. That is the power of bringing their eyes to that tablet or to your computer or to your notepad is so, so important because they'll see it and they'll engage it and they'll like it. Okay. So back here to buy sell analysis. So when somebody says to you, you know, I'm really nervous, because that's why they want to do it. They're scared that they don't want to end up without a home. And I respect that. I understand that. I have bought and sold and had the same feeling. But I know from my heart, from my 35 years of experience in real estate, that you have to trust in the process. You have to trust that there is a home out there and you will find another home. Worst case scenario, what happens is this. When a customer wakes up in the morning and they're having their coffee and they're enjoying their morning, their home that they're sitting in is their castle. They like it, they love it, and they really respect it, and they want to enjoy their castle. But then you show up in their life and you take them out showing and looking at houses. What's going to happen? We all know it's going to happen. They're going to walk into a house and bang, buying signals, buying signals, buying signals. And next thing you know, they're going to be saying to you, I want to buy it, I want to buy it, I want to buy it. So here's the thing that we got to remember. When they want to buy that other house, the house that they left this morning that was their castle that they were drinking their coffee or tea in is no longer their castle. It's now a noose around their neck, because now they know they have to sell that house before they can buy another one. And a NAR stat says that 70% of people have what is called frozen equity. That means they have to sell their house before they can buy another house. So in knowing that, you know that the largest percentage of people have to do this. We need to master this dialogue, because this dialogue solves that every single time. So somebody says to you, okay, well, I want to go out and look at a bunch of houses. I want to find a house first, then I'll sell mine. Okay, fantastic. Well, the dialogue, gang, is this. I'm not saying you're doing it wrong, but you might be doing it in reverse. So if I could go ahead and save you thousands of dollars by understanding what is called the buy-sell analysis, would you consider to want to hear about it? Sure, what's that? Okay, well, the buy-sell analysis is an overview of the financial difficulty you're going to put yourself in if you decide to try to buy first and sell second. Now, here's the thing. If it would cost you thousands of dollars to try to do it the way you want to do it, would you still want to do it? Pause. Yeah, no, yes, no. Either answer is fine. Yes, I still would. Okay, well, why don't we go through it now and show you just how many dollars it could save or cost you. So now, for a strong listing agent, I know some of you out there today are strong listing agents. If somebody writes an offer to you that is subject to the sale of another home, if you're in a hot market, total waste of time, not going to happen. If you're in a balanced market, sometimes it still works. Sometimes we'll still do it, or we'll accept, or we'll entertain that offer. But as a strong listing agent, you're going to make sure that your seller receives a bonus, or what I call as risk money, for taking a risk to actually accept that offer. Why? Because what it does for all other strong buying agents, it eliminates you out of the market. Why? Because as an example, if I have a corporate transfer that's coming into town and they only have, let's say, 3 days to buy a house, and I'm going to go ahead and look and show a house that has a 24-hour clause on it, or 72-hour clause, or whatever it is, subject to something, I'm not going to show that house. I'm going to eliminate that house to the very, very, very end of the process. And if I have to show it, then I will, but I'd rather not. Why? Here's the analogy. I enjoy this analogy because, of course, anybody that's had children has had this analogy. So think of your 3-year-old. You bought them a nice, beautiful ice cream cone, the flavor that they like, and they're excited about it. Give them the ice cream cone, let them have 3 licks of it, and then take it back from them and see how things go. Is it going to be a positive experience? Not at all. Because here's what happens. If they love that house and they have to sell theirs first and they don't get it done fast enough, you are going to resell that house for months after, because they'll always be saying, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one. So what we need to do is we need to realize how much is going to be that risk money that they're going to write that offer for, first of all. So let's say, as an example, that they, in this, just a discussion for today, let's say that it's a $30,000 bump that ends up happening that the listing agent makes you do. You accept it, they accept it because they know subject to the sale of offers are not very strong. So you pay an extra 30,000 on the buy side. Then when we go back to your own personal house and we decide that you're going to list it now. Now, are they way more motivated to list and get that house sold? Yes. Will they sell it for less? Yes. Why do I know this? I went through this scenario dozens and dozens of times because at the end of the day, some people just won't do it the other way. And that's okay, but they're going to lose a bunch of money. So let's say, as an example, now on their own personal residence, that they're going to now lose $10,000 because, which is obviously a very small amount of money, because they're so motivated now they have to sell that other house. And what happens if you have to sell something fast? The price always comes down. So that's why they end up losing there. So now all of a sudden, let's say it's a $1 million total transaction, $400,000 sell, $600,000 buy, and they're going to lose $40,000. Well, I don't know about you, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer and seller, but $40,000 is a lot of money to me. So again, if I could show you how to keep that money rather than throw it away, would you like to know how? And then you're going to demonstrate and explain to them that we'll put your house on the market, we'll price it very aggressively, not subject to the sale of, so everybody in the market knows that's the situation. And then therefore you'll still sell your house very quickly and you'll be able to get the other one. Now here's the last thing of this whole close is, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, here's the thing. I've been at this for 25 years or 1 year for somebody that's doing the business. And in my office, we have over 2,000 years of experience or whatever the number is, because you should know that number. And nobody has ended up living on the street yet. And you're not going to be first. So let's make sure that we go forward from today. Get your house sold first, buy a house, save a bunch of money, and we'll make sure things go smooth. Fair enough?
Fair enough. Awesome.
Next slide.
So we're getting down to one of the final objection handling situations, the comparative shopping analysis. Why this home over another? You know, we have those buyers out there that are waiting for that perfect house. And not always do they have the budget to wait for that perfect house, you know? And so what we need to do is we need to kind of pull things back. Not like if we let them kind of run the roost with how the showings happen. Like for those that have been out and looked at 20 plus houses with a buyer, I want you to put a thumbs down emoji into the chat. If you've been out with buyers and they just keep burning your time because they're looking for that perfect house that was cheaper, bigger, or newer, put a thumbs down emoji in the chat. We've all had that. And then those are the people that are the least loyal to you too, because when that house does pop up that they like, that's a for sale by owner, they don't remember all the work you put in, you know? So we need to address that before we go down that rabbit hole of showing them the entire state of Florida or New York or British Columbia, right? So, or Arizona, right? We don't want to be showing them, we don't want to be tour guides. We don't want to be, spending those awesome weekends with them versus our families, unless they're going to actually do something. So, if you feel like you're going to be dealing with one of those long-term situations, I think you need to pull them inside. I think you need to do the comparative shopping analysis. Why this home over another? And Doug, I want you to handle this one. Hey, I'm still looking, Doug. I know this is a good house, but I saw another one that was cheaper, bigger, and newer. How do you handle that one?
Well, first of all, if I'm going to deal with this problem, cheaper, newer, and bigger always has a little bit of, BS connected to it. Because there's no such thing as cheaper, newer, and bigger, right? So let's face it, the houses are what they're worth. In today's world, the customers are smart. You know that, I know that. They've done their research way, way better than they used to years ago because of the power of the information that's available in front of them on a daily basis. So now to go through this process, this is a whole nother session that to go through the buying process of setting up with buyers. And I would love to be able to do this, but we can't have time. We don't have time to do this today. But the way majority of people go through the process of actually showing houses is totally wrong. And if you're showing somebody 20 houses, I call total rookie to you. And so that should never happen. And if you're doing that, you just don't know how to do the buying process. And I would love to teach you how to do that someday, but we're not going to have time for that today. So number one, if they say that they found this other house, you should have went through the process in the first place and eliminated everything that's for sale in this, what's out there within a 20-minute period, half an hour period at your office ahead of time. So you know, and they know everything that's for sale, and they could be just pulling your leg. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it's not true, because you know that you've seen and you expose them to everything that's for sale. And this is only the one that is the new one that just came up today. Well, whatever that is. So if one came up today, then that's fine. You've already looked, exposed to everything else. This one last one that's left to go, okay, if you have to show it to them, you show it to them. But the odds of it being a lesser price and all the rest of that, very small. But keep in mind, every once in a while, somebody does have to and is willing to sell a home for wholesale price. That does happen, rarely, but happens. So if that is there, it is our responsibility to make sure that our axe is sharp and we're watching closely every day for that specific client, for that specific property. But if we're doing our job right, we should know that that's there before the client ever finds it anyway. So that's kind of the way that is. Now, let's take this particular comparative shopping analysis to another level of a whole better way to use this particular tool. Again, in your listing presentations, in your hot buttons, and the drop-down menu, it says comparative shopping analysis. Now, when does this really come in power is when you're getting interviewed to be a buying agent or a listing agent, either way, and they say to you, why should I hire you? Why should I work with you? So you're going to be able to set this up. Now, if you don't have this already set up, this is a mistake, because this is so valuable to you as a 1-2 punch for you to be able to deliver what you need to deliver to get them on side. And how it works is it's got a line of 7 different companies that are there. You know you have competition in your area, whether you like it or not. It may be weak competition, but you have competition. So in the comparative shopping analysis, in your presentations, it has RE/MAX is the number 1 column, is what you would fill in. And on the left side of that, it has all the reasons why you should work with RE/MAX. The next column might be Coldwell Banker in your community. I don't know what it is. I'm just using it as an example. The next column might be Keller Williams. The next column might be Century 21. But you know how that lines up as you go across the board. So in your comparative shopping analysis, in your presentations, it shows that there's 12 items on the RE/MAX column. The next one, because of course you're building this, so you know how it is, the next one has maybe 7 items. And the next one has maybe 5 items. And the next one has 4. The next one has 3. And then for sale by owner is way over here to the side. So the way this close works is this. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, using a seller as an example, we'll go to a buyer in a second. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, as you can see here today, if you were to work with RE/MAX, these are some of the items that you're going to get that are on your side. As you can see, there's 12. Now, as you see, you go to the next closest competitor, and they have 5. So my question to you is this. Which of these services, listen closely, you guys, which of these services do you not want in your marketing plan? Now, needless to say, that question is a leading question to get them to say, I want what? Them all, yes? I want them all. They're always going to say it. I've used this hundreds and hundreds of times. I want them all. And you're going to say, I couldn't agree more. Sorry, gang, I forgot to stop my phone. I couldn't agree more. But here's the thing. There's only one way that you get to have all of RE/MAX is if you work with me. Now, when you actually look at the comparative shopping analysis, the most important one on that entire list is the bottom one. And the bottom one says me. And so we wrap it up nice. They'll say, well, we want them all. Couldn't agree more. The only way you get that is if you work with RE/MAX. And of course, let's look at the last one. And they'll put a big smile on their face and they'll say, well, you know, and then you're going to say, and you want to work with me, right? wrap it up in a nice little bow. Job over.
Nice. All right, that's fantastic. Well, we're running about 10 minutes till 1 o'clock or 10 o'clock Pacific time. So let's move to the what we covered today. So we want to listen more than talk, obviously. We want to acknowledge their concerns before countering them. We don't want to just have an answer without listening to what they're saying. They have everybody feels that they have a relevant objection, and we need to acknowledge that is a relevant objection and not take it personally. We want to frame the objections as opportunities to educate and guide, which is obviously, one of the things where we have our worksheets with our hot buttons. It's something you do together. You get them to participate. Like even today, while we go through these slides, you guys are probably retaining maybe 10, 15% of what we're saying, what you're seeing on here. Actually doing the worksheets that we have in the listing presentation and your handout, doing that with the customer or client is going to it's going to help achieve the goal much better than if you were just to read to them stats. And obviously stay calm, confident, and professional at all times. It's all about the body language and it's the tones and all the things. So let's not overreact, okay? Homework this week. We're going to write down 3 objections you struggle with, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to craft responses using today's strategy. So you have the tools now. Now it's time to practice. We're going to role play with a teammate before your next meeting, okay? And bonus challenge, share your best objection handling dialogue in the Facebook group, okay? It's not as we use the word script just because it's like what's been taught in the industry, but we're trying to we're not going to sound robotic, guys. We're gonna work through it, and so we're dialoguing with each other here. So let's dialogue some of the concerns. What's your biggest takeaway from today? Love to hear it. We're going to do our Q&A, but I would love to hear that. Drop your insights in the chat. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. We're going to keep going through role play and objection handling. R4, it's just coming up. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's not too late to book. I'm going to be there. Doug's going to be there. And we'd love to work with you in advance. So if you are nervous, you need some help with making a game plan and a strategy, we are going to get together a few days before the convention just to give everyone some opportunities to really come up with a plan to get the most out of the event. And let's open up to Q&A. And all right, so we're going to spend a few minutes here. We want to get everybody out on time, but I want to hear from some people that we haven't heard from. So if you've already asked questions in the past, maybe just let some other people take the opportunity to share. Love to hear new perspectives and new voices. So Carmen wants to know, can we go back to the homework slide? I will put that on the Facebook group. We're not going to go back. It's hard to go back in this platform. So for you, you need to potentially just the few things that I remember that we were going to write down 3 objections that we've heard in our businesses. We're going to come up with how we're going to handle them with the tools that we've got today. And then we're going to create some time with a buddy and we're going to go through those together. That's what I believe the homework was. But if there's anything else, we'll make sure we put it in the Facebook group. Okay. Is P2P finished this Friday before R4? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So next Friday is our last day. We're actually going to bring all the groups together. We're going to go through the MVPs and the winners of the program, and just some final thoughts from some of the guest speakers that have come, just to give everybody a nice little goodbye. And of course, we're encouraging those that have their squads to continue. Let's get in the habit of meeting every Friday still. Just because the course is finished doesn't mean we don't need each other. So that would be a really, really strong thing of leadership, is if you feel like this has been a valuable course to you, make sure you reach out to your squad and try to keep this thing going. All right. Does anybody want to say anything? Raise a hand and we'll let you unmute yourself here. Any thoughts? Quiet bunch today, Doug.
Yeah.
I guess you answered every question.
I doubt that, but I'll throw it out to you. If you haven't had any of these objections that we dealt with today, get out there and do some more presentations, because they're coming and they're going to be there. So we got to practice and we got to be ready, whether you like it or not. They're coming. So please understand that in that list of presentation, the drop down menu, all the objection handling that are there is there for you. Also, if you can remember everything that I presented today, I say congratulations to you, because you got a pretty good memory. But I know that most of us can't, as Alex said. So go to Bottom Line University on YouTube, and all of the things that we just talked about are there as a video for a recap for you. And we did that on purpose because we know you need to practice. We know that you're not going to remember it all. So just dive in, get better at this, and then help each other to move forward is the power behind being a successful listing agent and buying agent, to get signatures. What are we in this business for? More signatures.
Fantastic.
Now with that, go ahead, Alex.
Well, I was just saying fantastic. And for those that have registered for the listing presentations, Doug will be doing a private session with you. If you're still interested and haven't reached out to me, go ahead and send me an email and I will connect you and we'll put together a session on how to set up your custom listing presentation. And for those that have registered, you'll hear from Doug this week on that process. I think we're good. I don't think there's any questions at the moment, but we can move. Oh, go ahead.
So also, if you're at all interested and you would like to learn how to become a listing champion, I just finished doing a program in Calgary, Alberta for 2 days that was dynamite. And it really went over even better than I thought it was going to be. But the power of becoming a really strong listing agent and the power of becoming a really strong buyer's agent is so valuable to you as you move forward in your careers. So if you're at all interested in learning more about how to have those two skills be at the top of your skills, then let us know. Send Alex an email and copy me in. I gave you guys my contact before, and let's talk about how to make that happen for you guys in your city. We'll do a live 2-day event with you if you think that that would be something that you'd like to do.
Sounds good. That'd be awesome. All right, let's get to the awards this past week. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, busy week for a lot of people. I'm hearing lots of referrals going to our referral partners. Frank is stoked. He's got, I think, 13 mortgage applications in play this week. So that's fantastic. Great job, everybody. Number 5, we've got David Haller's group. Congratulations, guys. Number 4, Team Fire John Newman's group. Congratulations. Number 3, Team Canada, Jack Ramsey. Congratulations. Good work. Number 2, Glenn Baker's team. Congratulations, guys. And number 1, Michael Gopi's group. Congrats, everybody. You guys are leading the way. Our MVP is Francis Linton. Congrats from the Haller Group. I promise you're going to miss us after this course. It's been a huge amount of dedication for your time and your investment in your business, and it's coming to a close here in a couple weeks. So I would just strongly encourage you to really band together within your squads. Let's keep this going. We want to do this session again, but it won't be happening right away. And so if you could let your manager know that you got value out of this course, that would mean a lot to us. But yes, we have covered a lot of ground in this last couple of months here, and we're just getting started. The habits are establishing themselves, good and bad. We're dealing with the bad ones, hopefully, and we're establishing the positive ones. So keep up the good work, everybody. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday to handle some more objections.